The city lights hadn't fully faded when a quiet moment suddenly turned into a global conversation. No press release. No red carpet. No staged poses. Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet once again became the center of attention, not through a blockbuster premiere or a high-fashion event, but through a casual date night that felt unexpectedly intimate. What looked simple on the surface quickly ignited social media, raising one unavoidable question: just how serious is this relationship becoming? Before we go any further, stay with this story until the end. Drop a like, share your thoughts, and join the conversation, because the smallest details often reveal the biggest truths. That night, Kylie Jenner stepped out far from her usual high-glam image. She chose a relaxed, understated look, effortless, clean, but unmistakably intentional. It was the kind of style that doesn't scream for attention, yet quietly commands it. For many fans, this softer appearance revealed a side of Kylie rarely seen in public, suggesting the night wasn't about headlines, but about presence. Beside her, Timothée Chalamet stayed true to his signature laid-back aesthetic. No excess. No spectacle. Just confidence and simplicity. Eyewitnesses described their interaction as natural and unguarded. Subtle glances. Quiet smiles. The kind of closeness that doesn't need explanation. Their body language spoke volumes, leaning toward each other, moving in sync, maintaining a physical closeness that felt unforced. In an industry known for curated moments, this one felt real. And the internet noticed immediately. Within minutes, photos and short video clips flooded social platforms. Searches for phrases like Kylie Jenner date night, Timothée Chalamet relationship, and Kylie and Timothée intimate moment surged rapidly. Fans began dissecting every frame, analyzing outfits, expressions, and gestures, trying to decode what this appearance truly meant. Was this just another casual outing, or a subtle confirmation that their bond has deepened? What makes this moment particularly compelling is what it represents beneath the surface. Kylie Jenner has lived under public scrutiny for most of her life. Every move, every relationship, every expression is magnified. Choosing to appear so relaxed in public suggests a level of comfort and trust that doesn't come easily. For Timothée Chalamet, an actor known for fiercely protecting his private life, being seen so openly carries its own weight. To many observers, this wasn't accidental exposure. It looked intentional. Halfway through the circulating footage, there's a moment fans can't stop replaying. Timothée leans in slightly, appearing to whisper something. Kylie responds with a soft smile, followed by a quiet laugh. Zoom in on that exchange, and what stands out isn't excitement or performance, it's ease. The kind of comfort that forms when two people feel genuinely safe around each other. This is where the story takes an interesting turn. Cultural commentators point out that Kylie and Timothée come from vastly different worlds. One built an empire through reality television and global business. The other carved his path through indie films and artistic credibility. On paper, it's an unlikely pairing. Yet in practice, that contrast seems to be exactly what draws attention. Each appearance together feels balanced, grounded, and refreshingly unpredictable. Notably, there was no official statement after the sighting. No confirmation. No denial. And that silence only fueled speculation further. In today's celebrity culture, silence often sends a stronger message than words. It suggests confidence. That silence lingered long after the footage stopped circulating, and it became part of the story itself. In an era where celebrity relationships are often defined by carefully worded captions and strategic interviews, the absence of explanation felt deliberate. Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet didn't rush to clarify, didn't attempt to redirect the narrative, and didn't seem bothered by the speculation. For many observers, that calm reaction was the strongest signal yet that whatever they share no longer needs validation from the outside world. As discussions grew louder online, Fans began comparing this date night to the couple's earlier public appearances. The contrast was striking. In previous sightings, there was a sense of caution, subtle distance, quick entrances, carefully timed exits. This time, the energy felt different. More relaxed. More settled. Almost as if the initial phase of curiosity had passed, replaced by something steadier and more grounded. That shift did not go unnoticed. Entertainment analysts noted how the tone of coverage has also evolved. Headlines are no longer framed around shock or disbelief, but around observation and interpretation. The question is no longer, are they together, but where is this heading? That change reflects how the public perception of their relationship has matured alongside it. Another detail fueling conversation was how effortlessly they blended into their surroundings. There was no visible entourage drawing attention, no dramatic entrances designed to dominate the space. Instead, they moved like any other couple enjoying a quiet evening out. That normalcy, especially coming from two figures who rarely experience it, became a powerful narrative on its own. It suggested intention, not to hide, but not to perform either. Fashion commentators also weighed in, noting how their outfits subtly complemented each other. Not matching, not coordinated in an obvious way, but aligned in mood. Neutral tones, relaxed silhouettes, understated confidence. It was the visual language of two people on the same wavelength. In celebrity culture, where image is rarely accidental, these choices were read as another quiet signal of harmony. As the night progressed, small interactions continued to stand out in the footage. A gentle hand movement. A shared glance at something off camera. A moment where Kylie instinctively adjusted her pace to match Timothee's. These micro-moments became the real focus of discussion, dissected frame by fans who believe intimacy often lives in the smallest gestures. What makes this story resonate so widely is how it contrasts with the usual chaos surrounding high-profile romances. There's no public drama. No cryptic messages. No sudden unfollows. Just consistency. And consistency, in the celebrity world, is rare enough to feel almost radical. It invites curiosity without exhausting it, keeping audiences engaged without oversharing. Industry insiders suggest that this balance may be intentional. Both Kylie and Timothee are at stages in their careers where control over narrative matters deeply. For Kylie, whose brand thrives on visibility yet demands authenticity, this quieter approach signals growth. For Timothee, whose artistic credibility depends on restraint, it maintains integrity. Together, they appear to be writing their own rules. As more time passes, this date night may not be remembered for where it happened or what they wore, but for what it symbolized. A transition. From speculation to acceptance. From curiosity to acknowledgement. It marked a moment where the relationship felt less like a headline and more like a reality. And this is where the story truly pays off. Not with a dramatic reveal, not with a viral statement, but with a shared sense of calm. In a world obsessed with spectacle, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet captured attention by doing the opposite. They reminded the public that intimacy doesn't always need volume to be heard. Now the conversation shifts to you. Do you see this as a sign of something lasting, or simply a fleeting chapter caught in the spotlight? Share your thoughts, keep the discussion going, and stay tuned, because when moments like this appear quiet, they often signal the biggest changes ahead. And as the online conversation refused to slow down, the narrative surrounding this relationship began to take on a life of its own. What started as a handful of candid clips evolved into a broader discussion about timing, maturity, and intention. Many fans pointed out that both Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet seem to be in transitional phases of their lives, professionally and personally, and that context matters. This date night didn't feel impulsive. It felt deliberate. Observers noted how neither of them appeared distracted by their phones or surroundings. There was no sense of urgency to document the moment themselves, no need to control the optics in real time. That restraint stood out. In a culture where moments are often filtered before they're even lived, this one appeared refreshingly unfiltered. The implication was subtle but powerful: they were present with each other, not performing for an audience. As the footage continued circulating, body language experts chimed in, analyzing posture, proximity, and microexpressions. Their conclusions echoed what fans already felt instinctively. The closeness wasn't staged. The comfort wasn't rehearsed. Their movements mirrored one another in a way that typically emerges only after time and trust. These weren't the gestures of two people still testing the waters. They looked like two individuals who already knew where they stood. The timing of this appearance also added another layer of intrigue. With both stars maintaining packed schedules, the choice to step out together, even briefly, suggested priority. In Hollywood, time is currency, and how it's spent is rarely accidental. That alone gave weight to the moment, fueling speculation that this relationship has quietly become part of their daily reality rather than a fleeting headline. Media outlets began reframing their coverage, shifting away from rumor-driven language toward a more observational tone. The narrative matured, mirroring the energy of the couple themselves. Instead of questioning legitimacy, coverage focused on chemistry, balance, and evolution. This shift didn't happen overnight, but this date night seemed to be the tipping point. Fans also drew comparisons to past relationships, noting how different this dynamic feels. There's less noise, less urgency to define or defend it. Instead, there's a steady rhythm: appear, disappear, reappear, without escalation or collapse. That consistency has become part of the appeal. It keeps the audience curious without overwhelming them, engaged without fatigue. Another detail that caught attention was how neither Kylie nor Timothee tried to distance themselves once they realized they were being noticed. There was no sudden change in demeanor, no abrupt separation. They continued their evening as planned, signaling comfort not just with each other, but with the reality of being seen together. That confidence resonated deeply with fans who have watched countless celebrity couples retreat at the first flash of attention. Cultural critics argue that this is what makes their relationship particularly compelling in today's media landscape. It defies extremes. It's neither hidden nor flaunted. It exists somewhere in between, where authenticity tends to live. And that middle ground is increasingly rare, especially among figures of their magnitude. As speculation continues, one thing remains consistent: neither party feels rushed to define the relationship publicly. There's no label being pushed, no milestone being announced. That absence has become part of the story's strength. It allows the narrative to unfold organically, guided by moments rather than statements. This date night, then, becomes more than just another celebrity sighting. It becomes a marker. A visual checkpoint in an ongoing story that's unfolding quietly, deliberately, and on their own terms. For fans and observers alike, it offers just enough insight to stay invested, without giving everything away. And perhaps that's the real reason this moment resonated so strongly. In a world saturated with oversharing, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet captured attention by choosing subtlety. Their relaxed yet intimate appearance didn't answer every question, but it didn't need to. It simply shifted the conversation, proving that sometimes the most powerful statements are made without saying anything at all. As this story continues to evolve, one thing is certain: every future appearance will be viewed through the lens of this night. A night that looked casual, felt intimate, and quietly reshaped how the world sees their connection. Stay engaged, keep watching closely, and share your take, because with stories like this, the smallest moments often signal the biggest turns. And even after the clip stopped trending on the front page, the discussion refused to fade. Instead, it settled into something deeper: analysis, interpretation, and quiet fascination. Fans weren't just reacting anymore, they were reflecting. This date night became a reference point, a moment people kept returning to as they tried to understand the direction Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet were moving in. What stood out most was the emotional tone. There was no chaos attached to this sighting. No backlash. No dramatic split in public opinion. The response was measured, almost calm, mirroring the energy the couple themselves projected. That alone marked a shift. High-profile celebrity relationships rarely receive this kind of balanced attention unless the public senses stability. Some longtime followers of Kylie noted how different her presence felt compared to past years. There was less defensiveness, less need to assert control over the narrative. Her posture appeared open, relaxed, grounded. For a figure who has spent much of her life navigating relentless scrutiny, that change felt significant. It suggested growth, not just personally, but emotionally. Timothee, too, appeared unchanged in the ways that matter most. Still understated. Still reserved. Still uninterested in spectacle. Yet his comfort level was unmistakable. He wasn't shrinking from the moment or rushing through it. He moved with ease, as if this visibility no longer felt intrusive. That balance, between privacy and presence, is difficult to achieve, and many saw this as evidence that he had found it. As more commentary emerged, one theme kept repeating: this relationship doesn't feel performative. In an industry built on image, that perception carries weight. Audiences today are highly attuned to authenticity, and they are quick to sense when something feels manufactured. This didn't. The gestures were too small, too unpolished, too human. Even the pacing of the evening contributed to that impression. There was no rush. No abrupt ending designed to avoid attention. The night unfolded naturally, and that natural rhythm became part of the appeal. It felt less like a moment created for consumption and more like a moment that simply existed, caught by cameras, not shaped by them. Public reaction also revealed something else: fatigue with drama. Many fans expressed appreciation for seeing a relationship unfold without controversy. In a landscape crowded with scandals and sudden breakups, this quieter narrative felt refreshing. It offered a different kind of intrigue, one rooted in consistency rather than shock value. Entertainment insiders speculate that this approach may redefine how future celebrity relationships are perceived. Not louder. Not bigger. Just steadier. Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet may not be trying to set an example, but in choosing calm over chaos, they may be doing just that. The longer this story lingers, the clearer its impact becomes. This date night didn't dominate headlines because of where it happened or what was said. It mattered because of how it felt. Relaxed but intimate. Casual but intentional. Visible but protected. Those contradictions are exactly what made it compelling. And as time moves forward, this moment will likely be remembered not as a peak, but as a foundation. A quiet confirmation that whatever they share is no longer fragile. It doesn't need constant reinforcement. It simply exists. That's why this story continues to resonate. Because beneath the fashion, the fame, and the speculation, there was something universally recognizable: two people choosing ease in a world that rarely allows it. And sometimes, that choice speaks louder than any declaration ever could. The conversation is far from over. Each new appearance will add another layer, another clue, another moment to interpret. But this night remains pivotal, a calm, intimate pause that subtly shifted the narrative and left the audience watching more closely than ever. And as days passed, the single date night continued to ripple through the entertainment cycle, resurfacing in conversations that went far beyond celebrity gossip. It became a case study in modern fame, intimacy, and restraint. Analysts began to frame the moment not as an isolated event, but as part of a broader pattern that has been quietly forming around Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet for months. What many observers highlighted was the consistency in tone. There were no contradictions between this appearance and previous sightings. No sudden shift in energy. No mixed signals. Each public moment has carried the same understated rhythm, reinforcing the idea that this relationship is no longer experimental. It appears settled into a pace that feels intentional, carefully protected, and deeply personal. From a media perspective, this kind of narrative longevity is rare. Most celebrity relationships spike quickly and burn out just as fast, fueled by oversaturation. This one has done the opposite. It surfaces briefly, then retreats, leaving behind just enough detail to sustain interest. That scarcity has become part of its power. The less that is shown, the more people pay attention when something finally appears. There is also a broader cultural conversation unfolding beneath the surface. Kylie Jenner, once defined almost exclusively by hypervisibility, seems to be redefining how she occupies public space. Her presence during this date night was confident but not performative. Controlled but not guarded. For many, it symbolized a shift away from spectacle towards selectivity. That evolution has been closely watched and widely discussed. Timothee Chalamet's role in this dynamic has drawn equal attention. Known for his aversion to Hollywood excess, his willingness to be seen, calmly, casually, without retreat, has been interpreted as trust. Not just in the relationship, but in the stability of his own boundaries. He didn't disappear. He didn't overcompensate. He simply showed up. This mutual balance has become the defining feature of their story. Neither dominates the narrative. Neither appears to compromise their identity. Instead, they coexist in a way that feels unusually even for two people of such different public profiles. That equilibrium has sparked conversations about compatibility that go beyond surface-level attraction. As the footage continued to circulate, fans began to notice how the story lacked an antagonist. There was no external conflict driving engagement. No controversy pushing clicks. And yet, attention remained high. That alone challenged assumptions about what keeps audiences invested. It suggested that calm, when paired with authenticity, can be just as compelling as chaos. The date night also arrived at a moment when audiences are increasingly critical of manufactured narratives. Viewers are more skeptical, more analytical, more aware of how stories are shaped. Against that backdrop, this appearance felt refreshingly unscripted. Not because cameras weren't present, but because behavior didn't change in response to them. Industry watchers have pointed out that this could mark a new phase in how high-profile couples manage visibility. Rather than controlling the narrative through statements and exclusives, Kylie and Timothee appear to be letting moments speak for themselves. That approach carries risk, but it also builds credibility. And credibility, once established, is hard to shake. As conversations stretched on, speculation naturally followed. Not about dramatic milestones, but about longevity. Could this be something lasting? Could this dynamic sustain itself under continued scrutiny? Those questions lingered not because of uncertainty, but because of possibility. The story feels open-ended, and that openness keeps people watching. In retrospect, the significance of this date night lies less in what was seen and more in what was implied. Stability. Comfort. Mutual respect. These are not qualities that typically dominate celebrity headlines, yet here they were, quietly, undeniably present. And in a media environment starved for authenticity, that presence resonated deeply. As new stories emerge and attention shifts elsewhere, this moment remains anchored in public memory. Not as a viral peak, but as a steady point of reference. A reminder that sometimes, the most meaningful chapters in a story unfold without noise. And so the narrative continues, not driven by spectacle, but by consistency. Each appearance adds texture rather than shock. Each sighting reinforces rather than disrupts. Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet, without overt declaration, have reshaped how their relationship is perceived, calmly, gradually, and on their own terms. for audiences, that restraint is precisely what keeps the story alive. Because when something feels real, it doesn't need constant proof. It simply needs time. And with time, that sense of realism has only deepened. What once felt like a surprising pairing has slowly transformed into a familiar presence in the background of pop culture conversations. Not overwhelming, not dominant, but persistent. The kind of story that doesn't demand attention, yet somehow keeps it. This is where the narrative surrounding Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet now lives, in subtle progression rather than dramatic escalation. The longer the public sits with this image of them, the more normalized it becomes. And normalization, in the celebrity world, is powerful. It signals endurance. It suggests that the initial shock has worn off, replaced by acceptance. Fans no longer react with disbelief, but with curiosity shaped by context. They're no longer asking why, only watching how. This shift is evident in the language surrounding them. Comment sections have softened. Speculation has slowed. What remains is observation. People notice details not to expose, but to understand. The way they walk side by side. The way their attention remains inward, even when the world presses in. These moments accumulate quietly, forming a narrative that feels lived in rather than constructed. What also stands out is the absence of urgency. There's no race to define the relationship publicly, no visible pressure to meet expectations imposed by fans or media cycles. That patience has become part of the story's emotional weight. It suggests confidence, not just in the relationship itself, but in the decision to let it unfold without interference. From a broader lens, this calm approach reflects a growing shift in celebrity culture. Audiences are increasingly drawn to authenticity over spectacle. They want stories that feel grounded, relatable, human. Kylie and Timothee's dynamic taps into that desire, offering a version of fame that coexists with privacy rather than erasing it. The date night that sparked all this discussion now feels less like an event and more like a chapter. One moment in a longer arc that continues to evolve without announcement. And perhaps that's why it resonates. It mirrors real life more than fiction, where meaning isn't always declared, but built slowly through shared presence. As the media moves on to the next headline, this story doesn't disappear. It lingers. It reappears in comparisons, in references, in quiet nods to how relationships can exist under pressure without imploding. Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet, intentionally or not, have shown that visibility doesn't have to equal vulnerability, and that intimacy can survive even under the brightest lights. This ongoing narrative doesn't promise certainty. It doesn't offer clear answers or dramatic conclusions. Instead, it invites patience. It asks audiences to observe rather than judge, to notice rather than assume. And in doing so, it maintains a rare balance, keeping the public engaged without giving everything away. That balance may ultimately be the defining feature of their story. Not secrecy. Not exposure. But choice. The choice to show up selectively. To share moments without surrendering them. To exist together in public without turning the relationship into a product. And so, the story continues, not loudly, not urgently, but steadily. Each new sighting adds context rather than controversy. Each quiet moment reinforces what the first date night suggested from the beginning, that beneath the fame, beneath the scrutiny, there is something stable taking shape. For now, that's enough to keep the world watching. Because sometimes, the most compelling stories aren't the ones that explode, they're the ones that endure.